Hello you guys, this is Colatius and Latius, and I'm gonna record one more video because if I do all of this right now, it's gonna take me way too much, so I'm gonna split them. So what am I gonna do is I'm gonna finally show you the dates for the vampire. I'm drawing a blank. How do I do this? Okay. I have been saving it for you guys. Alright, outside the human society, there existed an ancient and bloody civilization, of the vampires. Legend had it that every decade a human maiden would be chosen as the bride of the vampire, with the red mark appearing on her neck, which is the kiss of blood bond. She would be led to an eternal world, accompanied by endless death and blood in the town. To avoid the disaster, villagers would hold a grand black wedding setting her into the darkness. The brides have ever come back as it was a sacrifice in the name of wedding. Interesting. Ooh, background's nice. In the remote town, night travel was very dangerous. Spooky. The reason wasn't in the burglars. Did the game just make a noise? Or the hungry beasts, but in the vampires wandering in darkness. I went through the dark, quiet street quickly by the dim light from the lantern in my hand. Ooh, this is a new background. Somehow I had a lingering sense of foreboding until the warm light lamp at home made me relax. What's this? Suddenly, from a window reflection, I found a half-blood blooming red rose pinned on my chest somehow, at the sight of the crimson plump petals that seemed to be soaked by blood. I couldn't help gasping. No, it won't go like the tale. It won't. What? I tried to deny, but couldn't help recalling the tale. A scarlet rose appearing at night was an invitation from the darkness. It's just an accident. I quickly took it off. The petals touched sticky. What? To refrain myself from making the association, I threw the flower out of the window and locked it tight. The strange thing made me toss about in bed, but I soon fell asleep deeply due to tiredness. I had a dream where I was in a grayish white mist, and an unknown creature roaring near and far, the Shido mist, and the mist lurked many red eyes. I was upset. Then there came clear steps, catching my eager eyes. Ooh. As the footsteps drew near, the mist dispersed, and the Shido moonlight shone on the What? What does that even mean? Oh. I knew he had red eyes because you can see it in the art, but damn, Victor. The man in a black suit with black hair and scarlet eyes. He was Victor. No, he looked neither crazy nor cruel. He's not calling us an idiot or a dummy, but so apathetic. Is this really Victor? As if all the colors were faded by the eternal time. At the first sight of him, I thought of a word: loneliness. Somehow, I felt choked up and tears were about to fall. It's him. Who is him? Who is it? Who is him? Dare? Nani? Numerous strange scenes and sounds flashed across my mind and gave me a splitting headache. Whoa. Oh god, that scared me, because his eyes were red and his head moved. It seemed the man had noticed me. He looked at me straightly with free... Dude, I don't know. I know my English might not be the best, but I feel like I'm reading some things that don't make sense. Who are you? Dummy. Oh no, is this Victor? The man didn't answer. I hadn't seen him before, but somehow a sense of familiarity cheered my soul up. Have we met before? He came near, put a half-blooming rose in my hand and bent, feeling his hot breath on my neck. My necks, yeah. I was unable to resist in the... Dude, what is up with the translation, bro? I'm gonna try not to let it ruin. The momentary pain of the skin pierced by the teeth and the cold breath seemed as true as reality. Dude, I think it's thundering in the game, not outside. It's not the weather for that. Boom, a dull thunder coming from outside the window suddenly wakened me up. I gasped in shock. Man, this story for first one is long. Oh boy, this is why I didn't want to do the other two videos. I realized I have open rows. Notice I'm not saying 3 because I didn't get keto. I should just shut the fuck up because I got lucky actually. Already in my hand. Oh no! Dude, I screamed and quickly threw the seemingly scalding rows with this scary idea flashing through my mind. I stumbled to the mirror in the dark. Then a bolt of lightning across the sky lit the whole room. Whoa. Instantly, from the mirror, I saw a clear red mark on my neck. Ooh, that was not fake then. Like a bite mark of a creature. The creature is Victor. He could bite my neck all day. I didn't say that. I touched it. My hand shaking. The slight bulge told me it wasn't an illusion. They said the bride of a vampire would have the red mark on her. The Kiss of Blood Bond, a cruel yet romantic name. Okay, all this is for some reason reminding me of Vampire Night. I don't know why, but it is. At dusk, a long a long something black walked silently in the wilderness, solemn and wired. Middle-aged man. We may arrive soon. Hearing this, I clenched my hands. The black bridal gown, that was hard to say, made the pallor on my face more obvious. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine I would meet such a lover and have such a wedding. Legend said the bride of a vampire would be led to an eternal war, I'm assuming this world, and the town would be doomed to death and blood. Whoa. To avoid the disaster, people will hold a grand black wedding and sacrifice her to the vampire. I'm going to sacrifice her to the vampire. And I was the bride. I recalled that dream and the man in my dream. By a touch, the mark on my neck ached. Will I survive? No. The sun gradually set and the night fell. The silent wedding finished in the wilderness. Priest, may the Lord bless you, my child. In the dark, people went away, leaving me alone soon. Trembling with fear, I walked towards the depth of the wilderness slowly and desperately. Whoa. Oh, look, it's not mist. Man, I wish there was an option where you can get rid of the text so I could screenshot the backgrounds. This was a desolate graveyard. I'm pretty sure I could find it online. I couldn't tell where it stretched in the dark. The mist grew thicker as I walked. The vague scent of blood floated in the air. I felt greater splitting pain in the mark on my neck. The pain and chill slowly made me unconscious. I can't faint. I can't faint. I clenched my teeth tightly, but suddenly fell unconscious. Whoops, I fell unconscious when struck by a dense mist. When I came to myself, the screams of beasts echoed in my ears. I saw the dark sky turning bright. The dawn was coming soon. Legend said the vampire would come to take his bride away before dawn, which makes sense because vampires don't like light, right? I looked around vigilantly and found nothing but the beasts with green eyes glowing in the dark. Wolves! Wolves! Yay! I quickly got up from the ground, confronting the beasts several meters far from me. These seemingly emaciated... Did I say that right? I feel like I've heard that word before. I don't know. Wolves salivated with mouths open, but they didn't step forward as if being scared somehow. I couldn't show weakness, but moved back a step by step. This confrontation didn't last long. With a roar, the head wolf rushed over to me. Oh no, having nowhere to go, I had to turn back and run, but was tripped by the bushy weeds overgrown. Goddamn bushy weeds overgrown. I covered my eyes and felt extreme despair. But the awful roar behind me stopped, and a drop of water fell on my head. Is it raining? I struggled to turn back and found the head wolf hang a mile off. What? Above me, its sharp claws and bare tusks were ripped by an invisible power. Whoa! And vanished in a blood mist. The heavy scent of blood made me retch. Gross. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm pretty sure that would happen to anybody, unless you're a doctor and you're used to blood or a surgeon. I don't know. After surviving, I sat on the ground miserably with tears. Hey, you're in my background, bro. So he vanished the wolves. Victor did. Apparently we don't know who he is. I saw through my tears a man standing under the first ray of sunshine when the blood mist lifted. He seemed like an aristocrat. Yeah? I'm pretty sure somebody that stands in the graveyard with crosses and a suit that looks like a vampire does not look like an aristocrat. Aristocrats, right? They don't. Oh my god, never mind. His fine clothes and good looking appearance were in a weird harmony with the graveyard. A drop of blood splashed. No, it's not. Vampires like graveyards. Splashed on his pale face. He casually licked the blood on the hand. Sorry, I almost lost track there. His eyes looking apathetic in the sunlight. Sunlights? The sunshine fell on his shoulders. Wait, I thought vampires don't like light. Side face and body, and turning everything colorful in my eyes. Have we ever met before? I suddenly recalled my dream of the man standing alone in the mist, whose figure similar to this man in front. Suddenly, I realized perhaps I was his bride. Uh-oh. Fuck. Oh my god, I forgot to... I'm like, hello, there's voice acting in here. I know there is. Sorry, guys. I noticed his eyes are not red this time, but this is not a dream, though. Okay, that didn't take too long, thankfully. Cool.
Human.
Human, me, bite, Victor. The man asked... I don't know why he said human. It sounded funny. With the same aloofness in his eyes as if looking at an ant.
You're not supposed to be here.
Ah, he has an accent, or talking like a vampire, I guess. A bit timid as I was, I looked at him directly and answered with pretend calmness. I have this kiss of blood bond mark on my neck. God, man, I feel like it says blood land, not bond. That's hard to say. One said you could easily fuck that up. Mark on my neck. So I was sent here as the bride of the vampire.
Kiss of blood bond. I've not heard of this for a very long time.
I'm pretty sure he has an accent. I can't hear it very well. You guys can. Until I stop the video. That seemed beyond his expectation. He came and ripped down the... What? The crap? Creepy? The crap? I don't know if that was a Japanese word. It would have been like kurape on my neck before I realized. The what on her neck? I don't know. What do you want?
That's why.
His pupils slightly shrunk, turning blind to my resistance. What? He put his cold fingers on my neck. I was getting shivers just standing by his side, but the skin around the mark somehow began to burn. Oh.
When did it appear?
Several weeks ago. God damn, you trying to tell me several weeks passed? Whoa. Okay, and I received this. I replied tremolo. Oh my lord. Took out the never wilted rose.
Oh, it's really you.
Yum. Suddenly, the man, not totally Victor, smiled so lightly that I thought it was just my illusion. I watched his indifferent expression soften up a little bit. He stared into my eyes in nostalgia. You. I wanted to ask him why he looked at me like this, but suddenly the tiredness swept over me.
It will be finished when you wake up.
In the last second before I lost consciousness, I saw that man put the flower on his lip. Oh, I wish they had art.
Victor, remember my name.
Victor, remember my name. Oh, that was actually the way his voice actor Ben said that line. Holy crap. In the dream, there seemed to be a soft voice echoing in my ear. I am totally not Victor, dummy. He's not Victor. He hasn't called her a dumbass. Or baka or dummy. Oh my lord. Yo, this background is really nice. Oh man, I wish I can... There has to be a way I can get these. When coming to myself, I found myself in a strange place. Judging by the environment, it was a clinic. How did we end up here? I touched the... How did we end up here? mark on my neck, which didn't disappear. What happened? Huh? Okay, hold on. She said the mark has been here a couple weeks, and we're talking last night. Okay, I'm confused there. Or unless I'm missing something. I don't know, guys. Have I escaped from this wedding? No. I looked at the ceiling blankly, wondering why the man had let me go. When the doctor found I was awakened. Huh? The Yokata, you finally woken up. Where am I? Why am I here? So he found us in the cemetery? Someone kind-hearted has sent you here, but my servant didn't seem whom it was. The doctor took the suitcase by the bed, foisted it into my arms, and urged me to leave. You're totally fine. Take your belongings and leave. Honestly, the scent around you brings me bad feelings. I knew what he meant. I left the clinic gratefully. Gratefully, couldn't it have just said I left the clinic? Outside were the strange streets and buildings, but the suitcase might be left by that man with the gold coins inside. I managed to stay in this city. I couldn't go home before the mark. I couldn't go home. Okay, I could not go home until the mark goes away. I don't know. I was eager to figure out why I felt unexpectedly familiar with that man. It's me, Victor, the vampire. Perhaps due to the mark, I often dreamed of him. Dummy. Baka. And sometimes an undistinguished maiden, me. Ooh. Suddenly, I opened my eyes, recalling the scene in the dream. A maiden lay in blood with red roses. I saw the man bending down, wiping off his tears with his fingers, and closing her eyes. Interesting. He looked. I cannot wait until you guys see the evolved art, which I thankfully have evolved. This, honestly, I think that's my favorite evolved art out of the 4. Or the other 3. Yeah, 4. Looked indifferent. He looked indifferent as always, but I seemed to see the loneliness slowly swallowing his heart and made it stop beating. Am I the girl lying there? I laughed at myself. Was it there or here? I don't remember what it said. I laughed at myself, wondering why I thought the maiden was me. She must be Victor, the lover of Victor the vampire. Those dreams dispirited me, and the mark unsettled me as if it were draining my vitality. I'm assuming vitality is her strength, life. Is that what it means? No. She went to church. I'm going to church. I went to pray in the church. The old priest said with peaceful eyes, as if he noticed something, "Child, follow your heart." I'm trying to give different voices. I don't know where that's coming from. I just spit on my phone. My heart? Okay, spit gone. I repeated the words, confused, and gradually made up my mind. I found the graveyard after a long search on horseback. As the daylight faded away, the night fell. Oh, Victor. Stepping to the graveyard, they didn't make a night version. I would love a night version of this. It's like entering the other world. Gloom and coldness sweeping through me. I met nobody here last time. Yeah, we did. But this time I saw tens of them. Bare tusks and red eyes. Vampires! Oh no. I clutched the shotgun. Whoa. Refrained myself from escaping and faced the vampire standing still at my presence. Human with the best blood. The nearest did the text slow there for a second? I don't know. The nearest vampire ran towards me with bloodthirsty eyes that seemed to be lit by fire. Whoa. No, this is not the first time we heard gunshots in this game. Hint, hint. I shoot unconsciously, but missed the target. The vampire, I'm pretty sure there was shooting gun effect when that happened, stood 1 meter away. If you played that chapter, I'm pretty sure you'll know what I'm talking about. Away with deeply frightened eyes. Or is not the first shit, I don't remember. I thought my shotgun worked. I can't imagine her with a shotgun. She should totally have one now. However, I heard him gasp and say with a shaky voice, "It's the smell of the Earl." Oh, because he probably bit us. How can you have it? Then, crap, I forgot the voice I don't know. When he stopped looking at me, went off as fast as an arrow and soon disappeared in the dark. The Earl? Victor. I came to my sense, pressing the mark on my neck. The Earl. Were they referring to that man? Those vampires have all disappeared, as if their fear for that man took over their thirst for blood. Feeling a water droplet fall upon my face, I looked at the cloudy sky. Soon it began to rain heavily. Some bats, it's raining, flew from the Duke graveyard. By the way, I'm pretty sure there might be some other dates that have guns too. It's just, I don't think I have unlocked a date that has a gun shooting thing yet. Or, yeah, played it. I ran towards them. The bean-sized raindrops fell on me. In the rain, I saw a familiar figure who often lingers in my dreams.
It's you.
It's you. The pouring rain stopped, and the world fell in silence. That handsome man stood in the frozen time. Okay. The handsome man stood frozen in time, which is his power, time, I think, yes. I suddenly remembered his name. Victor! I was in a mess and looked at him awkwardly, but couldn't help walking closer to him.
Why did you come here again?
Victor frowned, because I'm a dumbass. It was dark, and I could clearly see astonishment and complexity on his face. I don't know. A tissue. Did she sneeze? Oh, she did, so I made the right creepy noise. I was about to speak when I sneezed. When I awkwardly rubbed my nose, Victor's brows stretched and he sighed slightly.
Follow me.
This is not Victor. He still has not called me a dummy or an idiot. I turned back and walked deep into the darkness. I hesitated for a moment and then followed him. The time was still suspended. Yup, his power. Everything was in silence except my footsteps following his. Is that wind? A house came into my sight. The moment we walked in, oh rain, the rain suddenly began to pour again. We reached a dull yet She didn't question what the fuck just happened. Like, she didn't see the rain stop. Like, yeah, because she is that kind of character, sadly. We reached a dull yet delicate lobby, part of which was lit by candles, but I felt gloomy and cold. I stood at the gate at a loss. My wet clothes dripped so much that the drip soon became a puddle.
Close the door and come in.
Close the door and come in. Will do, Sir Victor, vampire. Victor spoke suddenly. Startled, I quickly closed the door that kept the rain outside and walked to him.
Stay here. Don't leave until the rain stops.
Like I said, I think he has an accent here, or I'm just imagining things. I can't hear it because although the voice sounds loud for you, the voice, for some reason, it still dims on my end when I record, so I can't hear it very well. No, I mean, I can hear what he's saying, but I can't hear if he has an accent. He said it differently, as if he just took a stray Neko back home. I sat on the sofa uneasy. Chills ran through my blood and made me tremble.
You feel cold.
You feel cold. Sensing my uneasiness, awkwardness, Victor turned around and left the lobby, leaving me feel sad for him going away. You can't leave me alone like this. Interesting. My voice was so light that nobody else could hear. You can't leave me like this. Depressed? I held my... Oh, no, don't say that word. You're not depressed? No. I held my arms and put my head between my knees. Beep. Hot waves came over me. I turned around to see the yellow flames jumping in the furnace. The man lighting the furnace stepped back to the place far from the furnace. His four brows told me he disliked fire. Do vampires hate fire? I don't remember. Okay, no, vampires liked fire, but he lit the nearly unused furnace. Thank you. Feeling the constant warmth, I chuckled to myself and comfortably closed my eyes. Victor. I got up the courage to stand up and asked Victor, who was silent in the candlelight, can you help me get rid of the kiss of blood bond? After a while, when I always thought he wouldn't reply, he spoke.
Why do you think I will help you? Just because I let you go once.
Oh, Victor, I think you will. You don't mean to take away my blood or life.
If it's just a guess, how can you be so sure?
How can you be so sure? In the eyes, I saw some ridicule that discouraged me suddenly. It's having an increasingly bad impact on me. If I can't get rid of it, I'll eventually die. So whatever happens, I will come.
There are worse things than death in the world.
There are. He seemed to be restraining something in him. I felt scared looking at his emotional eyes, took one step back, and suddenly stopped. I don't think there is anything more important than life. I gazed at him carefully, my soul trembling, as if we had ever spent a long time together this way. Every time I sleep, I can't help but dream repeatedly of you. I couldn't sleep well at all.
What did you see?
You with red eyes? We got bitten, right? The blurry scenes from my dreams, right? Because she had more than one, right? Flashed across my mind. In a trance, I spoke with a distant voice. I dreamed that you had sent her a rose. You were taking a stroll in the forest. She died in the end, and you closed her eyes with your hand. Breathing rapidly, I was eager to know the source of the dream. Sometimes I feel I am her, because we are. Victor kept silent for a while, and then said indifferently and irrefutably,
That was an illusion. The kiss of blood bond is a mark on souls. Those with weaker willpower will be affected more.
After a pause, he finally agreed.
On the day of the blood moon, I will help you remove the mark, and then you won't have those dreams.
He totally referenced Blood Moon the Hell event. I had expected this answer for long, but it was strange. I was not glad at all upon hearing it. I looked to him stubbornly, without knowing the answer myself.
I let go of you, but it doesn't mean I can tolerate any further disturbance.
His voice sounded hoarse. In the waggling candle, in the candlelight, I couldn't identify his expressions. In that what? I'm acting just because of that mark? Losing all shreds of sanity. Just because of that mark? How dare you, Victor? I rushed to Victor impulsively. He stepped back as if startled, his eyes turning gloomy.
Stay away from me.
Damn. He warned me. I stood there helplessly, wondering how I offended him, because it's Victor. My wounds were somehow split due to the previous movement. I moaned, blood dripping off my fingers. I finally realized and looked at Victor in alarm. His eyes were already full of strong desires. That was weird. What noise did I make? In a second, I was heavily laid down the carpet. He clamped my hands over my head so rudely that I couldn't escape. Whoa. Victor lowered his, is this the art? Yeah. Refined, bloody eyes. His cold and rapid breath rushed at my neck. I stared at him motionless.
Your blood.
He said in a hoarse voice as his cold lips touched my vessel. The hidden emotions made my body tremble. When I thought I was doomed to be the food of the vampire, the victim of the vampire food, he loosened his hand, got up, and left. Oh,
Don't be close to me next time.
Or else. Yeah, that doesn't happen. We still get bitten. He said with a restraint and left hastily. I didn't miss the moment when his eyes glowed and with desire and struggle. After a long time, I came to my sense, huddling lonely in the dark lobby, surrounded by the sound of rain. I was dizzy and sleepy, perhaps because of getting wet or being scared the whole night. During my fitful sleep, I sensed approaching footsteps in some soft and warm fabric covering me. I grasped and rubbed it with my knitted brows, gradually stretching. So hot. Feeling muddled and breathing in fever, my swollen throat prevented me from uttering a word. Upon the touch of a cold palm on my forehead, I was released, tempted to get closer.
You have caught a fever.
Oh, he's taking care of us. I was wondering if he was going to appear in our room. It was his voice. I struggled to open my eyes and detected a flash of concern in Victor's face.
You need to leave for a doctor.
I subconsciously grasped his palm and made a sound with difficulty. Not yet. You must help me with the kiss of blood bond.
Is it worth more than your life?
Maybe. But I want to stay.
You are lost in the dreams.
Yeah, his totally Victor reply. His cold reply was like a refusal that stopped me from saying anything more. Knowing that I was unable to disobey him, tears silently fell from the corner of my eyes. "Aw, Victor." I murmured his name, half asleep, as if sustaining the illusory connection between us. When I woke up, I found myself lying in a luxurious bedroom. It was still raining outside, and the dark room made me lose the track of time for the time being. My fever was brought down. Wait, this room was in this house? So we've been sleeping in Victor's house this whole time? Unless they used the same background, or... The entire house was empty, with me alone. The exquisite and precious furniture and decorations looked ancient. I felt illusionarily. I felt like I'm in an illusion, being another era when walking therein. Right here, time was as if suspended and vanished. I couldn't help but to feel lonely. Victor? I pushed the door open, revealing the empty room behind. Victor! Oh, I exclaimed after finding Victor stood right behind me. That's terrifying, behind me. He frowned at me with somber expression, as if being disturbed from a sound sleep.
What do you want?
Nothing. I was looking for you.
What for?
I need you to help me. Nothing. I pulled in my neck to minimize my sense of being and escaped from his deadly stare. Just then, my hungry stomach ridiculously complained.
There is food in the kitchen. If you want to leave, you can do so right away.
He has food in the kitchen. He is not a vampire, bro. Do vampires eat food? I know they like blood. Pretty sure they do. Victor finally withdrew his gaze, turned around, and disappeared in the darkness, leaving a command.
Don't bother me anymore.
Don't bother me anymore. God damn. I watched him leave and breathed a sigh of relief, Yokata, while feeling much hungrier. Yo, this is a cool-ass mansion, bro. I found pieces of bread and a salad in the kitchen, which was surprisingly yummy in my hesitant bites, huh? Do vampires... That's what I just asked. Do vampires have human food? I doubted, but didn't plan to nor dare to ask him. Thanks to the sudden fever and constant rainfall, Victor seemed to concede, so I stayed with ease. Whether room cleaning or dinner preparation, Victor has almost accepted my feelers. Yeah. He showed inexplicably patience towards me. The longer I stayed here, the more ease I felt, as if a part long missing has been complete, huh? Yeah, sure. I don't know what that said, but there was not much food in the house. I had to go shopping in the city upon Victor's consent. I lowered my hat a bit to ignore others' avoidance and did look triggered by my black outfit. I quickly bought the essentials and hurried to return before dark when someone called my name. Angela? The familiar voice made me turn around, surprisingly, only to find my longtime friend. Why are you here? Young man, I have been looking for you. Why don't you write to me for all that happened? He grabbed my arm and looked up and down, along with the anxious tone. I answered vaguely, as I couldn't explain much. Nobody can resolve the curse. I have to face the danger all by myself. The scent you have, is it from that guy? Yes, but just as you can see, I am good. No worries. I come to take you away, as the temple has already found the way to solve the kiss of blood bond. When seeing his sincere eyes, I didn't know how to refuse, but I didn't want to leave, at least not for that moment. Let me think. I thought he was going to kidnap her. I refused his proposal to send me home and carefully returned home. His presence alarmed me, but my indulgence in the dark world but I had to leave for the human society one day. What? Before the night of blood moon came and the mark disappeared, I still could hesitate. I'm still hesitating a lot. Victor seemed to have said something, but he said nothing. I sat on the window, depressingly burying my head in my knees. I knew that he was avoiding me deliberately. Aww. I volunteered to prepare the evening food. It was a success exceeding my normal cooking levels, but I had no appetite. Oh, seeing this, Victor put down his fork and knife, making the slight clash of plates as if a hint.
It's up to time.
What? He was always poker-faced, cold, and reserved, unapproachable, because that's totally not Victor. I gradually reached his real presence, which was revealed to me completely. He still has not called us a dummy or an idiot. He's not Victor. I followed to put down the knife, my hands trembling uncontrollably. The arrival of long-awaited moment indeed brought me no more joy. A wolf howled off, ooh, in the moon, and the sky seemed about to drip blood. In the foggy, dark forest, the night races were ready to start. What? Wriggling. I'm sorry, but what? The entire house was bathed in the bloody moonlight. Even Victor, standing before the window, had been coated a layer of extreme danger.
It might be a bit painful. Hold on.
Painful. Uh-oh. Without time for my regrets, Victor raised his hand and covered my eyes. Suddenly, I fell into darkness with all other senses enhanced. His cold finger pressed on my mark on my on my side of the neck, which made me inexplicably panic. Victor.
What?
What? No, nothing. I need to get prepared. He smiled slightly. The following piercing pain got the best of me. The storming pain took over me, as if pulling my soul out of my body. I painfully grasped his cuff, overflowing a depressed sob from my clenched teeth. I tried to escape from the suffering, when a cold, tender, and comforting touch fell on my forehead, and left before I realized it. The moment had lasted for long. His scent on my soul gradually detached, faded, still vanished. Uh-oh. Victor released the hand on my eyes and appeared a bit tired. He didn't look at me, but looked out the window.
If you stay here, you will slump into eternal darkness and loneliness.
I don't want that. I looked up at him in surprise. He didn't request me to leave as I expected.
I give you this chance. You can choose to leave, or
get bitten by you. He stopped his words on the tip of his tongue. I couldn't see through his expression, but vaguely felt his extraordinary emotion. At daybreak, I will leave. I uttered the short sentence with difficulty, as I worried that one more word, all of my feelings would flood out of control. We tactfully stayed in the sitting room to spend the last night in silence. It was deep in night, but I felt sleepless. The clock ticked away, tick-tock, tick-tock, click-tock. My reluctance to leave accumulated. That was scary. As the dawn was approaching, that was not thunder. A flame lit up the dark sky prior to the sun rays. Uh-oh.
They're here.
Uh-oh. His eyes are normal. Looking outside, the figures came out of nowhere, had surrounded the house, silver white swords flashing. The temple guys, am I being followed? Think so. I intended to get a closer view at the window side. Victor stopped me by my arm.
Stay back.
Uh-oh.
They won't hurt you. I will help you leave.
I was dumbfounded. I looked at him innocently. Then what about you? Victor smiled. Oh, he smiled, and his gaze turned soft. He glanced at the ancient room with nostalgia. A bad hunch occurred to me.
It's time for me to leave as well.
Uh-oh. Maybe he decided to let go of the past. I felt terrible at his idea. When I wanted to stop him, the thought of explosion interrupted me. In a brief moment, the sound of explosion suspended. I was held in Victor's arms and escaped from the flame to a corner outside of the house.
Goodbye.
Angie? Goodbye? Obviously, that's not goodbye because we need to get the other right. Stop time has been resumed, Victor disappeared. That was the first time he ever called my name. Here you are. Let's go. I couldn't quite remember what happened next. I stumbled and was pulled out of the scene. Behind me, entire force had been swallowed up by the flame. Victor seemed to have vanished from my world, and the mark of the kiss of blood bond also disappeared. I turned down the proposal to leave and stubbornly chose to stay. I want to stay here. Are you bewildered by the demon? The Akuma? Ugh. His eyes were full of disappointment and the resentment of vampires. I have no idea, but I think things will get better after some time. I watched him leave this remote city and then return to the house in a black dress. People whispered behind me what they considered a widow look was indeed the dress of a vampire bride, an identity I still carried. Another night I dreamed about Victor. In the mist, he sent me a flower that pierced my fingertip, and blood dropped emerged, as stunning as the red petals. When I woke up, I saw the rosebud at the bedhead. It seemed to have started withering since day one. It is said that the dream hunt will end up after the mark disappears. I laughed. It had nothing to do with the kiss of blood bond after all. He had bewitched my soul, and that was the only reason. In the early morning, it was still quite early, no one but me was present. I knelt down before the cross and confessed to the God, and then prayed. Victor, I called his name silently. The rose pierced my fingertip, and blood drops fell on the petals, as if in the dream. Victor, will you come? My mind swayed, feeling as if certain familiar scent reappeared beside me. I turned around and saw him, as if we met for the first time. He was standing in the sun rays. The sunshine flooded between us through the stained glass window, as if a dazzling river that surged into my heart. All my hesitation and insistence was abandoned in a crushing defeat.
Come here.
Oh, his red eyes. Victor reached out, one hand to me, coated by tender rays, and looked like a fascinating dream out of the morning. I couldn't help but be attracted and got closer step by step. Then I accelerated and ended up almost rushing into his arms. Being bumped and forced to step back by me, he was shocked and then awkwardly put his hands onto my back, gradually held tighter. It's really you. I felt the true feelings of being hugged, embraced tightly, his body temperature and detached scent. Please take me with you to darkness Please take me with you to darkness to death. Yay! I stood painfully in front of him, no reservation or lies. The translation, yo. Failing to suppress the surging emotions for the moment, I knew I was destined to be entangled with him forever.
Are you certain? You won't have a second chance.
Dude, she literally is jumping at the idea, okay? His gaze was deep and tender. It seemed that those lonely colors had abandoned him, and he was, after all, getting rid of the long and cruel memories presented before me vividly.
Give me your soul.
Give me your soul. Do you see that face? Give it to me. All right. Give me your soul. So that's where this pic originated from. I don't need it because I have evolved. So it originated in the church. In a brilliant and dazzling rays, we embraced. I closed my eyes and revealed my most fragile neck to him completely. My heartbeat accelerated. I went out of control as he approached. His breath also grew faster. The coldness and fever entwined to form strange intimacies. What? Leaving me no God damn it, why the translation? Leaving me no time for regret. He moved his icy lips to where the previous mark was. After a tender and long kiss, the fangs pierced my skin in no time. I shivered slightly. Whew. Victor confronted me with his hands on my back, but wouldn't allow me to retreat for a half step. It was the true kiss of blood bond. Taking the kiss meant becoming the bride that would accompany him till the end of life. Ooh. Victor stopped and heard his restrained, desirable breath, kind of awkward as I did. Angie. He called my name gently, in unbearably haunting way.
You are my eternity.
Oh, thank you. You are my eternity. When I woke up in darkness, I found a scarlet mark on my neck. The legendary kiss of Bloodbond. To protect the residents in the town, I was forced to become the bride of a vampire and offered as a sacrifice in the name of wedding. In the deserted graveyard, I met the man who showed up in my dreams after awaking from a coma. We were in a coma? What? I found myself in the strange town and kept dreaming about that vampire for these days. To undo the kiss of Bloodbond, I decided to revisit the graveyard to find him. Victor held me undo the kiss of Bloodbond, but before I could make the decision to leave or not, the Knights Templar arrived. Why did I still dream about him after returning to human society? It's as if they did not even journal the last part. She didn't say, I am his eternity. So that was a long date. I'm glad for the amount of money that I fucking spent on this event. I think 45. Good. It better be worth it. Oh, Victor. You're freaking awesome, bro. So here's the card. You are my eternity. I think somebody said they didn't like Victor's story. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty badass. I gave it an A+. Yeah? Uh-huh. Does he have a text here? I don't know, guys. But I know he has a phone call. I think, yeah. Hello? Hello, hello? Is your signal bad?
I'm still at the departure lounge. What is it?
Shouldn't you already be landing by now?
The flight was delayed 2 hours. I was just about to send you a text.
Vampire.
And you? What are you doing? What has you up so early?
I just bought some fresh produce at the supermarket, and I'm on my way to the souvenir. Am I on my way to what?
Advanced warning. Do not try to put up crazy decorations in Souvenir.
How did you guess what I was going to do?
You always get your kooky ideas at times like these. You still haven't used up all the decorations you bought last year.
That is so totally me. I keep buying, especially when it comes to Halloween, and I don't use everything. He knows me too well. But this is recreating a festive Halloween atmosphere. Right about tonight's Halloween feast.
If I recall correctly, you've already reminded me 3 times since the day before yesterday.
If I recall correctly, a certain someone has pushed back their arrival date 3 times. Ooh, she got you.
What do you want to eat?
He's like, what do you want to eat? Last year we had blood cake. This year I want phantom rice balls, onigiri, and I was going to mention, what about some eyeballs? Candies? Eyeball cupcakes?
Are you sure these things are all foods?
Victor. Yes. Oh, then let's add a souvenir specialty beef. Something.
Your negotiation skills are getting better by the day.
Fuck you. I've been showing restraint. You know I can't count on 2 hands for all the dishes I want for this Halloween feast.
Okay, I see.
Although since you're already late than expected, I guess I could go pick you up at the airport.
You've been yawning this whole time. Go home and get some rest, dummy. Goldman will pick me up.
Victor, alright, he called us dummy. There is also that Witch's Village mystery event tonight that you promised to go with me.
Are you sure you won't be too scared to sleep tonight?
I am absolutely sure. Okay, it's settled. I'll see you in 2 hours at the airport. I'll be standing in the most noticeable place waving for you.
I thought I said you don't have to... Oh, forget it.
Oh, forget it.
See you soon, dummy.
Dummy. See you soon, dummy. That's so funny. Wait. don't know if they have a text. Fuck. Dummy. Baka. So yeah, that took an hour. I'm glad they made this long. I think Gavin's time shoot was also long too. Good, I'm glad, because expensive events deserve that. I enjoyed the whole Halloween storyline. Too bad I never got Keto. I mean, I didn't record it because how the fuck would I know? Twilight Prelude. Wow. I can't believe I actually got that. That was sick. Eternal Sighs. I can't wait to start Lucian, but not right now though. Not happening. It's gonna take me another hour. And it's 2:18 in the morning right now. Shoot, my mom's probably asleep. I guess she can't join me in my stretching exercise. Yeah. So next time, we're gonna have Lucian Eternal Sighs. What is this called? Twilight Prelude. Okay. So I'll see you next time, my friends.